Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode here on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network with the NFL free agency already underway. We have a ton of news to discuss, and today we're going to be honing in. We're going to be talking about the quarterback position and most notably, formerly from Miami, now looking for a new home in Tua Tagovailoa. He is going to be released by the Miami Dolphins, and we're going to be discussing here where we think his next home will be in the NFL. My name is Logan Landers, and of course, I am joined by Jay McLovin. If you enjoy the show, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. So, Jay, I'm going to go ahead and go to you first. Let's get your initial thoughts. First off, hearing that Tua got cut for Miami, we thought this was going to be happening for some time now. It's now official, and I want to know what are some of your landing spots for the former Alabama standout. Been in the league for a little while, had some injuries, had some ups, had some downs, but now he's looking to start fresh.
What a time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Jay here. Tua has flew out of Miami. And where will he land? I got a few spots. But real quick, just super fast. It's amazing to me, Logan, that the guy who took over for Jalen Hurts to win the national title in Alabama now has found himself reeling with mediocrity. And Jalen Hurts, the guy that was kicked out of Bama, went over to the Sooners, revived his career, got a Super Bowl under his belt, and looking pretty nice in Eagle Land. It's amazing how things just turn around sometimes in life, I guess. But where do I think he lands? The Colts? Maybe that's my first spot. It's a long shot because Daniel Jones is still there. He's on the transitional tag. They don't know if they're going to match the 37 or try to beat the 37. So there's no, and even if they do, there's no clear, even if they keep him, even if the Colts keep him, there's no telling how good he's going to be because I don't know how that rehab is going for him. You know, he had 2 big leg injuries. So maybe they bring in Tua because they also let go of Richardson. So maybe they bring in Tua, put him in the back wings, and then if things go south with Daniels, they can bring Tua up and they're good to go. So I think maybe Daniel Jones, I think his backup could be Tua. That's my one spot. It's a long shot. It's my one spot. My number 2 spot would be the Steelers. Possibly Aaron Rodgers could return. They just got Michael Pittman to go opposite of DK Metcalf. Frameworth is on the tight end. Pretty good O-line. So there's a lot of good depth there. Mike McCarthy is a decent coach. He did okay in Dallas. No complaints here. So maybe the Steelers is another spot if they don't land Aaron Rodgers. Again, Rodgers is pulling a Favre. Hold him at bay. Hold him hostage. Do we know what he's going to do? Do we know what he's not going to do? Who knows? But maybe they sign Tua. They'll keep Will Howard. I think he has a bright future as a backup. And then bring in Tua and see what Rodgers does. It gives them a lot of security blanket in case Aaron Rodgers goes left. My third and last spot would be the Jets. Now, everybody knows the Jets are where careers go to die. Well, last time I checked, Tua's body is pretty much dead. So why not give it one last pump of air in that CPR machine, put him in the Jets, and see if he can revive what little of a career he has left. The Jets will get him cheap. You know that Justin Fields ain't the guy. Put him in there, see what he does. Take a flyer on him. If he doesn't work, okay, release him. Sign him to a 1-year prove-it deal, and let's see what you got. Logan, those are my 3 spots. Where will he land? Hell, nobody knows. Spin the dial. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Jay, those are all very good options you mentioned there. All teams that need a quarterback, whether to step in case the starter goes out or to just kind of refresh. And for me, I think that I have a slew of teams, much like yourself, that desperately need some help at that quarterback spot. First off, I'm going to start off with the Atlanta Falcons, and I say that because with Michael Penix Jr., we know he had injury issues in college. It has continued into the NFL, and at this point in time, the team does not know when he's going to be healthy, at what point he's going to be coming back during the season, and if he does return, how well is he going to be able to adapt and get back to full strength. So I think a landing spot in Atlanta could be a good option for Tua. You can already slide him in. They're already having a good amount of weapons on the offensive side. You look at Bijan Robinson. You have guys like Drake London. They've re-signed Kyle Pitts. So your offense, for the most part, is pretty much set there in Atlanta with some good pieces. I know they still want to add a couple of spots on the offensive line to make sure that their quarterbacks stay upright and healthy, but that's already a plus over Miami where Tua was, I believe so. My second landing spot, we talked about a quarterback who just left there a couple of days ago. You can can check out that video on our YouTube channel. That's going to be the Arizona Cardinals. They let go of Kyler Murray. They have Jacoby Brissett, a seasoned veteran, been around the league for quite some time, and is a good, capable quarterback, Jay. But my thought is that if you bring him into Arizona, you have Tua on a prove-it deal. He has a lot of money in the bank already. You have him go up against a crafty veteran like Jacoby Brissett, and you have those two duke it out in training camp, and you see which one gets the start at the beginning of the season. We know that Arizona has good weapons with Marvin Harrison Jr. and with McBride at their tight end spot. Add a couple of pieces in free agency. You don't need a whole lot if you bring in Tua. If you bring him in and keep adding to that offense, I think Arizona could take a big leap compared to where they were in 2025. And my final team, I think Tua Tagovailoa can go to and help out, if not be a starter at some point, then just ride the bench and pick your spots and be on the field whenever it's necessary. And that's going to be the Minnesota Vikings, a team that is still kicking themselves for letting go of Sam Darnold. Every expert in the world said, why would you do that, especially after the year he had in Minnesota? We all know the story. He went to Seattle, won a Super Bowl, and the rest is history. As for Minnesota, you have J.J. McCarthy, a guy who they drafted in the first round out of Michigan that was already question marks around him. Yes, we know they got it done with a national championship, but in terms of just pure talent at the quarterback position, you kind of can compare McCarthy into a little bit at this early point in McCarthy's career. A guy who had a lot of hype coming out of college, goes into the NFL, doesn't quite live up to expectations, at least early on if you're McCarthy. For Tua, he had injuries. McCarthy, we know he missed his entire first year due to injuries as well. So if you bring him to Minnesota, also some good, healthy competition between a guy who's been in the league for a handful of years like Tua, and with McCarthy, you could sit him down and say, all right, look, this is still your team, but it's not there quite yet. So, Jay, my final teams, my three teams who I think are going to be the Atlanta Falcons, Arizona Cardinals, and the Minnesota Vikings. And I think that overall that Tua has a lot of good spots he can go to. He's easily going to get picked up. He has too much talent to go into the free agency pool and not get scooped up by anyone. So I think that any of the teams that we listed here today are going to be in contention to pick up Tua Tagovailoa and add them to their roster. But we want to hear your thoughts, your opinions, and your comments. You could do that in our Facebook, our YouTube channel, or any of our social media. Just check out our link tree in the description. You can find all of our social media accounts and all of our tremendous videos here on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network.